So welcome to the September Intermediate Saturday Sampler here at Close to Home in Southington. You need to bring in your August completed block between Friday, September 12th and September 30th to receive the September kit free. We have new classes forming for free motion quilting, beginning quilting. We have a little twister table topper and patchwork Christmas stockings, all of which can be viewed online or in person here at the store. You can sign up. They're now underway. We have supplies. Come on in and check out what we're doing for the fall. Also, we have put out a brand new section of Finish the Bolts at 50% off. They've all been set aside for you to choose from. One last announcement, Bernina is a September trade-in, so you can bring in any sewing machine and receive 25% off a new Bernina, off the MSRP on a brand new Bernina. So that's for the entire month of September. So I hope if you're looking for a new machine, you'll come on in. So this month, for September Intermediate, we will be working with the Creative Grids Hunter Star Trim Tool. I have done Hunter Star in the past, but never using the Creative Grid ruler. I love this ruler. You make the Hunter Star just starting with squares and rectangles, and it can't be any easier than looking at the ruler and trimming as you go. So hope you enjoy the ruler too. I've never used this ruler, so follow along. This is our block. I've used 4 of our print fabrics, obviously the floral, the dots, the buttons, and the dark swirl. They're made 6-inch finished into a 12-inch finished block. Our cutting is pretty simple. We're going to start with the white. A very long strip, as you can see. You're going to need 2 at 5.5-inch square. Each of those squares are going to get cut on the diagonal one time. From there, you're going to get 8 2-inch strips, and those are going to be cut down to 5 inches into 2x5 rectangles. You'll need 8. And the remaining fabric, you're going to need 4 rectangles at 2 inches wide, but only 4 3/4 long. Okay, so 4 of those. From each of the fabrics that I mentioned in the block, in your kit, from each of those you'll get 1 5.5-inch square, which you're going to cut on the diagonal once. You will only be using one of the triangles from each of the colors. The other one you can discard or use later, or have as a scrap. So only 1/2 of this square you will be using. You will need 2 2-inch wide by 5-inch rectangles and just 1 2-inch wide 4 3/4 inch long. All right, so let's go over the ruler really quick. I'm just going to hold it up nice and tall, straight up and down. So the Creative Grids Hunter Star ruler consists of actually 3 different sizes that you can do. A completed 12-inch, a completed 14-inch, or a completed 16-inch. And all the cutting instructions are here for you. And again, we will be making the A, which is our finished 12. So we're going to make our 6-inch finish and put them together like a 4-patch to make the 12. All right, so let's start with just one set. I'm not going to do all of them. I'll just pick one and continue doing that one. So the first thing we want to do is to take our 5-inch pieces. I'll just do the dark. I'll do the dark swirl. We're going to take our 5-inch pieces and place them right sides together. All right, we're also going to take 2 whites and place those right sides together. But in our kits, our Kona whites, they don't really have a right and a wrong side. But if you were to make this later on with other fabrics, just know that the light fabric, it will also be right sides together. So it's a little tricky with this one, or not tricky because it's the same. So we're going to take our 5-inch pieces, right sides together, and we're going to go ahead and trim those using our Creative Grid Hunter Star trim tool. So they're nice and square right on top of each other, and this is where the tool comes in handy. We're going to use the edges that are angled, and you'll notice that there's A, B, and C on each of the sides. So we're doing A, and you'll notice that there's a dash line going across and a small dash line down the side. So we're going to use those dashed lines to place our rectangle corner to get ready to trim. So here's my A. I'm right-handed. So I cut from this side. I'm looking at my A, the dashed lines, and the dash line here, and all we're going to do is just trim off that corner. Just one. These are our star points. All right, so I did it for the dark. I'm also going to do it for the light. Everything I do with the dark swirl, I'm going to do with the light as well. So I'm lining it up on the dashed line. I'm looking for that A, and the little line over here, I guess it could go over. No, it's pretty good, pretty close. And you'll notice that the top lines up. As your pieces get bigger, they will still line up. They will just get moved down the ruler a little bit. All right. So we have a left and a right for each of these. And I'll just lay them here for a second while I go cut my trapezoid. All right, so now we're going to take the 2 by 4 3/4 and we're going to make trapezoids out of those. So I have to cut both sides of my 4 3/4, again using my ruler, my Hunter Star ruler. I'm going to line it up just like I did the last one, along the bottom with the A and along the short line right here. Okay. And then what we need to do is turn our rectangle over and do it again to that side to get a trapezoid. So I'm lining it up, and we're going to trim it. All right, so there's our dark trapezoid, and let's repeat it for the light. I'm putting it in the A, taking my angle, taking the corner off, flipping it over, finding that A on the angle of my Hunter Star ruler, lining up the A dash line with the A edge line, and creating a trapezoid. So now we have 2 trapezoids, light and dark, and we have 2 star points, light and dark. All right. So what we're going to do is, to our light, we're going to put on our star points right sides together, and on our dark we're going to put our light star points on our dark trapezoid right sides together, and we're going to sew these at 1/4 inch. I have, you could use pins, but I have found when I've done a lot of these, I really like the Sew Line glue pen. It's refillable. You can use Roxanne's glue basted dots. It's the same water-soluble glue that we used last month for our paper piecing block. So we want to make sure that we keep that glue just within that 1/4 inch seam guide, or seam allowance, I should say. And we're just going to place that on there and just hold it down for a sec. And I'll do the same to this one. Just a little dash of glue within the seam allowance. And I was able to bring all of these, move them around. I wasn't worried that the pin was distorting or anything like that. I could just bring them all to the sewing table at one time. So we'll do it again to their dark, a little bit of glue with our light star points. Oh, it really sticks. And then we'll do it to this side. Again, stay within that seam allowance. You don't want it showing on your fabric when you flip these over. And you notice that these smart corners fit perfectly on top of our trapezoids. Okay, so it's a really nice way to get that angle just right. So let's take this over to the sewing, and we're going to sew 1/4 inch on each side, and then we're going to press it in a very special way. So let me make sure my iron is on. Here we go. All right, so let's take it over. I'm using the new Baby Lock Celeste machine. It's really a nice machine. It has a special foot control that you can program to lift your presser foot. You could use it, set it to cut your threads. You could, there's a lot of things you could set it for. But I'm just going to go ahead and sew my 1/4 inch. I do not have a flange on this, so I'm just looking at the edge of my, other petal. Oh, and it has this really nice laser light. So you can actually see that you're going nice and straight. So if I put my fabric in like this, I can see I'm not exactly straight, and I want to make sure I'm nice and straight along there. So my laser light's going to show me where I'm going, which is wonderful. Keeps me on track all the way through. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the next one. And you're going to be doing all of these at one time. See how I was able to look at my 1/4 inch there? Cut that. I'll use my presser foot lifter. Look at that. So fancy. Love this machine. All right, and then we're going to go on the other side. So what I do is I flip that over, and look how nice that glue just sticks to my fabric. I can get that line set up so I know I'm right. Whoops, wrong one. Foot down. Sew that off, and then flip this over, and I can do this side. It's a nice visual to see if I'm really going nice and straight or not. So needle up, I'm going to cut. Oops, cut. I'll use my foot control to lift. All right, so these are all going to be placed. You'll have a bunch of these done. These are all going to be placed right side down with the small part of the trapezoid closest to you. Okay, so face down, small part of the trapezoid toward me. And they're all going to get pressed from right to left. And this is going to help lock in our pieces when I go to sew them together. So that one and this one. All right, a little bit of heat. All right, so we're going to find the center of our trapezoid, and we're going to add a same color of the dark fabric. So I'm going to match the centers. This one's a little off, but that's okay. And I'm just going to take my Wonder Clips and hold those in place. And then to my white one, to the smaller area of my trapezoid, I'll take my white, find the center, find the center of that, right about there. And we're going to go sew this. This one is going to get pressed open. All right, so let's go sew this real quick. Oh, foot down. Yes, ma'am. Oops. Keep my line nice and straight. Then we'll do this one. Needle up, foot up. Start with our 1/4 of an inch. Go ahead and get that nice and straight. Go ahead and sew that through. Stop right there. Foot up. All right, so now we're going to press these open. So bring them on over. Give them a little opening right here. And just start pressing this open. I kind of knock that down. Okay, there's that one. Sorry. And we're just going to press this one open. Having them open really helps you align the next step. And when you go to join them all together, it really does come out much, much nicer. All right, so the last thing to do is to sew these two together. And when you do that, because the way you press these are going to lock right into position. So I'm just going to drag this over until it locks in. Grab I like Wonder Clips. And then this one, I'm going to drag it until it locks over. And a Wonder Clip. And then we're going to sew that one more time and open that up. All right. So again, sew all that down and press it open. So I have a couple here that I've done. Let's try this one. So I went through, and that one is also pressed. So the very last step, when you have 4 of these done, is one last thing. You're going to take, this is so cool. You're going to take your Hunter Star ruler, and you're going to look for the little marks of the A's in this little square here and here. These A's are going to sit right in the corner of your Hunter Star block. The line, you see the line? It's going to line up right in the seam, and so is this one. We're going to trim this on these 2 sides, and then we're going to turn it 180 degrees. Oops, I have to come around. Sorry. All right. So now we're going to take it, we're going to spin it around, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to replace the inner points, or the stars, and the solid line going right down the center, and again we're going to trim, and that creates our 6.5. Now notice we have our seam allowance in there. we have our 6.5 inch unfinished square. So we can go ahead and start playing around with these a little bit, putting them anywhere. Whoops, the other way. You want the greens on the opposite sides. And then now these are pressed in such a way that these are going to nest very nicely, and because you use the angle on your ruler, you should have a nice intersection in the middle with plenty of 1/4 inch seam allowance there. So I threw my greens on either sides and my darker blues on either side, but feel free to put them in any areas that you want. So I love the Hunter Star. I think if you go on Creative Grids and look up, I think her name is Deb Heatherly. She has a great video and many things that she's done with the Hunter Star. So I think that's really good if you go and look on that as well and watch that tutorial. So thank you for watching, and come on in with your August block to pick up September's. Thank you.